Alright, so it's about that time to start speculating on a couple things for MLB The Show 19. We're not going to talk about gameplay and all that stuff. You know, all that stuff will come down the line closer to the release of the actual game, which should be in March, like the end of March of 2019. But for now, the most exciting thing I think we can think about for MLB The Show 19 right now is who is going to be the cover athlete. The cover athlete is always a huge deal for any sports game on the market. Every single year, it's a big debate like, oh, I think this guy will get the cover. I think that guy. 2K got LeBron this year. Madden got Antonio Brown. There are always going to be big names on the cover of every sports game, and MLB The Show is no different. So in this video, I want to go over my personal predictions on who I think could get the cover of MLB The Show 19, because we are really not too far off from knowing who is actually going to make the cover, and I'm going to explain everything in this video. So let's get into it. So first off, I think the first thing we should do is we should go over the cover athlete of the last 13 years of MLB The Show. We're going all the way back to 06. We're leaving no stone unturned. Obviously, we all know Aaron Judge was the cover athlete of MLB The Show 18. Going back to MLB The Show 17, it was the first time they had a legend on the cover, and it was one of the best legends they could have got, Ken Griffey Jr. Going back to MLB 16, you had Josh Donaldson after his 2015 MVP season with the Blue Jays. 2015, you had Yasiel Puig on the cover. 2014, you had Miguel Cabrera right after his 2013 campaign where he won the Triple Crown. I think it was 2013. I don't know. I could be wrong. I always mix that up with 2012. I don't really know what happened right here, but I guess in the video, I just went from 14 to 12 without even talking about Andrew McCutchen on 2013. So there's that. But then you go to 2012, Adrian Gonzalez was on the cover of the game. 2011 and 10, both of those years were Joe Mauer. 2009, you had Dustin Pedroia. 2008, you had Ryan Howard. 2007, you had David Wright. And 2006, you had Big Papi. So those are all the cover athletes, and if you take a look at it, there are 4 covers that are in the National League and 9 of them are in the American League. That shouldn't really matter, but I would just figure I would say that at least just to provide all the stats. The other big thing to take away from the cover of the game for the last 13 years is that there hasn't been one pitcher. There's been 12 different cover athletes. One of them, Joe Mauer, was on the cover 2 years in a row. All of them for the last 13 years have been position players. They have been hitters. Not once has there been a pitcher. So take that into consideration when you're thinking about who could be on the cover of the show 19. Maybe this is the year they change that. Maybe, I don't know, Degrom would be a pretty good option in my opinion. And another thing to look at is when these cover athletes were actually revealed, because that's a big deal. You might be asking yourself, why are you making this video in the end of September? Well, we normally get the cover athlete not too far away from where we are right now in the year. Aaron Judge was revealed as the cover athlete on November 6th, so like a week after the World Series. We're almost to the postseason right now. Ken Griffey Jr., they didn't even wait till November. They revealed that Ken Griffey Jr. was going to be the cover athlete on October 27th of 2016. If that's 2018, that's a month from today. That is 4 weeks from today we would know the cover athlete if it was going to be Griffey again, you know what I'm saying? In 2016 and 2015, they did wait a little bit longer. They waited about till December, till I think about PlayStation Experience, to announce Donaldson and Puig. They announced Miguel Cabrera as the cover athlete on November 4th. The latest they had it was Andrew McCutchen, which was in January, only like 2 months before the game launched, and that's because there was a cover vote, like the fans actually voted who would be on the cover of the game. And then Adrian Gonzalez was revealed as a cover athlete on November 9th. So for the most part, a lot of them were revealed in the beginning of November, like right after the World Series, right after baseball ends. They want to keep the baseball hype going with revealing who's going to be on the cover of the next game. Sometimes they wait until PlayStation Experience. I highly doubt they would do that. I would expect this year's cover athlete to come out right at the end of the World Series, early November, late October. That's when I would personally expect it. So that's why I am making this video now. I'm pretty positive that MLB The Show 19 already has their cover athlete picked, and they already did the photo shoot. I'm pretty sure they've already got that done. They usually do that in the summer. At least they did last year with Aaron Judge, and you know, we're into the fall right now, so they have to know who their cover athlete is. I'm pretty positive they've probably made the photo shoot already. So keep keep that in mind. I am under the impression that the cover athlete has already been chosen. I know there's going to be some guy in the postseason who I don't have listed here that has a crazy good, you know, October, and they're going to be like, well, he should be on the cover. I'm like, I'm going under the impression that the cover athlete has already been shot. So let's get into my predictions. So I'm actually going to start it off with a fun one. This is a guy that I would love to see when everybody asks me, what is the card you want to see the most in the show 19? Last year it was Vladimir Guerrero. We got Vladdy. This year, I want a big ace pitcher. I want to see Randy Johnson in the game this year so bad. I would love to have a big, strong lefty on the mound. He's got a really funky delivery. This is the cover that I made. By the way, I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not an artist. So if these covers don't look that good, this is just me throwing a picture on there on a backdrop of the game. So don't judge me too hard for that. But I think Randy Johnson would be awesome. I have him here in an Arizona Diamondbacks uniform because he won like 4 straight Cy Youngs with the D-backs. So I would love to see Randy Johnson in the game. I think he would be such a fun card to use, and I think it'd be a great card to kind of break the hitters only streak that they have going on with the cover athletes. So now let's move into players that are currently in the league that will most likely get the cover, because, you know, getting a legend on the cover is crazy. Like, I'm surprised Aaron Judge was on the cover when they got Babe Ruth. Like, that blows my mind. But anyway, let's take a look at some guys. Let's start off with a couple pitchers. I think if there are going to be any pitchers in the league that could break the streak of only position players, I think these guys are some of the guys to do it. I'm going to say Jacob Degrom has a strong shot at being the cover athlete of the show 19 if they were to go with a pitcher. I think that Jacob Degrom had an amazing season. People know how good Jacob Degrom is. He had like an ERA at like 1.7 this year. In my opinion, easily the National League Cy Young favorite. I really think if you don't think he's the favorite to win the Cy Young, you're kind of kidding yourself. But that's besides the point. He had an electric season for the Mets that really didn't perform that well otherwise. He was the shining spot, and I think Jacob Degrom would be a perfect player to highlight as the cover athlete. So the other pitcher that I think could have a strong shot at getting the cover is Max Scherzer. Now, Max Scherzer, also a National League Cy Young candidate. I don't think he'll win over Jacob Degrom, but either way, Max Scherzer has been one of the best pitchers in the league the past like 6-7 years. I don't even know how far back to go. I personally think Max Scherzer has surpassed Clayton Kershaw as the best pitcher in the league this year, and he's always consistent. He's so like, he has such electricity on the mound. He's so much fun to watch. He's so competitive. This guy would have an awesome cover. I would love to see him break the mold and be a cover athlete for the show 19 as well. So if we're going pitchers, those are the two guys I would kind of lean towards as the favorites in my opinion for the pitchers. But now let's talk about some hitters. The first guy I want to mention is Bryce Harper. Now, obviously Bryce Harper on the cover of the game would sell copies. I think that would be great for the show. I just don't really think he's gonna make the cover because of the fact that his future is totally uncertain. Nobody knows if he's going to sign with Washington again. At least the mentality around the league is that he's going to go somewhere else in free agency. And with that uncertainty, I don't know if MLB The Show would risk shooting him as the cover athlete in a different uniform and then having to worry about reshooting the cover later on if he decides to sign with another team. I don't think SDS wants to put themselves in a NBA, what was it, 2K18? Whenever Kyrie Irving was on the cover, I don't think they want to put themselves in that situation where they have to redo the cover just to fit the fact that Kyrie Irving went to another team. Like I said, I think it would be great if Harper was the cover. I think a lot of people would love to buy the game if that was the case. I just don't personally see it happening. I don't think SDS will put their money on Harper if they don't know where he's going. Next up, Mike Trout. Obviously, I'm an Angels fan. I would love to see Mike Trout on the cover of the game next year. I personally probably don't think it'll happen just because Mike Trout is like the cover athlete for one of those mobile games. I don't even know which game it is. I always like forget which one's which or whatever. But Mike Trout, I think, would be the perfect cover athlete. He's been the best player in the game for the past since like 2012. So I mean, you want like the #1 name in baseball right now, it's got to be Mike Trout or Bryce Harper. I just don't know if Trout would get it because I don't know his contractual status with that other game, but I think Mike Trout would be the perfect cover athlete. There's nothing that I can say about Mike Trout that hasn't already been said. Everybody knows he's the greatest player in the game right now. He'd be the perfect guy. Here's a guy that I think he has a chance at getting the cover, but I personally don't see SDS doing it because remember, SDS their job is to sell copies of the game. They're supposed to make the game that'll sell copies, and Christian Yelich, I think, would be an awesome guy to have on the cover. I just don't feel like Christian Yelich is as known to the average person as somebody like Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, Mookie Betts, maybe. Like, I just don't think Christian Yelich really fits that mold. He might win the National League MVP this year, which would be awesome for his status. More people would definitely know his name then, but I just don't quite see SDS putting him on the cover of the game, at least not this year. Now, here's a guy that I think has a really strong chance of making the cover, and it's Javier Baez. Just like Christian Yelich, Javier Baez has a very strong chance of winning National League MVP. At this point, it's pretty much between those two guys. At least that's what the common consensus is. You can obviously make case for other guys in the league as well, but most people are kind of debating between Yelich and Baez. And Baez, he has that swagger. He has that marketability. Like, people know who Baez is right now. He plays with such passion on the field. He's pimping home runs left and right. Got some crazy bat flips. That tag of him in the World Baseball Classic where he's not even looking at the runner, he's just pointing at the catcher. The dude just plays with an incredible amount of swag on the field, and I think he'd be the perfect guy to market around the game. He was an all-star this year. The whole El Mago thing on the red carpet, like, he would be so good to put on the cover. I think he would sell a lot of copies because I think people, especially in October, they're going to know a little bit more about Javi Baez with how he's going to play. Next up, a guy that some people say was robbed of an MVP from Mike Trout, Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts is a American League MVP favorite to go along with his teammate JD Martinez, to go along with Jose Ramirez, Mike Trout, all those guys. Mookie is one of the best players in the American League. Everybody knows that at this point. Mookie's just been extremely consistent. Like, there's, similar to Mike Trout, like, we just kind of know everything there is to know about Mookie. We know what type of player he is. He's going to hit for average. He's going to hit for some home runs. He's going to be a good fielder. Like, we just know all about Mookie Betts. I think he would be a perfect fit for the cover. I think he's marketable. I think he's a good player. I think Mookie Betts would be pretty solid. Jose Ramirez, I think, would also be a good fit for the cover. One, because just like I've been saying, a very common word throughout this video, marketable. Remember, it's their job to sell copies of the game. They want to have a guy on the cover who they know can, you know, kind of be the face of their game. And a guy like Jose Ramirez, pretty fun guy, switch hitting, you know, very powerful guy. He'd be a beast. Also, the fact that the All-Star game is going to be in Cleveland in 2019 could have an effect on that. Maybe if they want to highlight one of the All-Star game's home players as a guy on the cover, I think that would be pretty cool. So Jose Ramirez would be a good fit for the cover as well. Now, the last one I have for you guys, I already know there's going to be some controversy surrounding this one because you guys are going to say I'm a biased Angels fan. You're going to say he doesn't deserve the cover. Whatever, man. Say whatever you want. I'm just going to explain why I think Shohei Ohtani would be the perfect fit for MLB The Show 19's cover. If you take a look back at what MLB The Show 18 did, they made Aaron Judge the cover athlete because by far Aaron Judge was the most, like, electrifying, the most popular player in the league last year. Everybody wanted to know what was going on with Judge. Part of it was because he played in New York, don't get me wrong, he played for the Yankees, so that was obviously giving him more exposure and a lot of people had their eyes on him, but Aaron Judge was a phenom last year. I think Shohei Ohtani is that same type of player this year. Other than maybe Mike Trout and Bryce Harper when they're fully healthy and on their game, I don't really know if there's anybody more fun to watch or more engaging than Shohei Ohtani, and that's because he can both pitch and hit, obviously. And that's why I think he'd be great for the cover. He could break the 13-year spell of not having a pitcher on the cover, but you also continue the streak because you have a guy who can hit too. He can do both. You can have a Shohei Ohtani hitting cover, or you could have a Shohei Ohtani pitching cover, or you could even have a Shohei Ohtani like dual cover where they like have like a split down the middle, he's pitching and hitting. I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool. Now, obviously, there is the issue of the injury. I do get that. I don't know if there's ever been a player that has been injured that we know is going to be out for pretty much most of the next season, going into the game next year, being on the cover. I don't know if anything's like that happened in any sports game, so please feel free to let me know down in the comments. I know he's got the elbow thing. He's going to have the Tommy John. He's pretty much going to be out all of 2019 for, I'm pretty sure. So you know, I could see the hesitation in doing that. But once again, I am going under the impression that SDS already has the cover athlete shot. They already have it picked out. They've already done all that stuff. So if they did that stuff in the summer, it was probably before Ohtani got hurt. And you can't deny that Ohtani was the most fun player to watch in the game. You just can't. So that's why I think Ohtani would be the perfect fit for the cover. I know you guys are going to call me a biased Angels fan. I get it. That's fine. Say whatever you want. I at least gave my reasoning as to why I think he would be the perfect cover athlete, other than the fact that I'm an Angels fan. If it's not Ohtani, I think it should be either Trout or Baez. Those are the top three: Ohtani, Trout, Baez. And no, I guess no particular order other than Ohtani I want to be number one. Trout and Baez would be great secondary picks as well. So those are my cover athlete predictions for MLB The Show 19. Let me know down in the comments if I missed somebody that you would love to see on the cover. Let me know if you disagree with my Ohtani pick, whatever it is. Just let me know all your thoughts down in the comments of this video. Drop a thumbs up on it if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.